What's up, team? This video is going to be about clear to hear and what that means. So have you ever tried to talk to somebody and they're on their phone? I've been guilty of that. Or you are trying to talk to somebody that is watching TV, or they're playing a video game. Maybe they've got their earphones on, they're playing with somebody online. They've got all the noises from the TV, and you're trying to say something to them, but they kind of hear you, but they're not really hearing you. Or you're talking to somebody and you're pouring your heart out and letting them know whatever it is that you're telling them, but they're just texting other people and you know they're not present, right? Well, they're not clear, right? There's no clearance so that they can hear you. There's a difference between hearing somebody and truly listening to somebody. Now, with that in mind, I believe that the first person that we need to learn how to hear is ourselves. What do I mean by that? I believe that God speaks to everyone, and I believe He's speaking to people every single day, every moment of the day. I believe that we see miracles, we walk through and we walk by miracles every day. But sometimes we're just not listening. What do I mean by that? What I mean by that is sometimes all the clutter in our head, in our mind, in our hearts, does not allow us to focus in the moment and to focus and have intentional relationships, intentional time with our family. It's because of all the stuff that we've got on the inside. And you know where most of that comes from? Unforgiveness, bitterness, and resentment. Now, maybe you're thinking, yeah, that's not me. But one of the first things you want to begin doing to be healthier in every area, to begin making more money, to become fitter, to have a better relationships, and to walk in peace, in love, in joy, and in thankfulness, you have to begin to walk in forgiveness. If there is any resentment in your heart, if there is any unforgiveness, if there is any bitterness towards anybody, you want to begin to forgive those people. You want to begin to forgive and let go of whatever it is that is causing you to not hear clearly. I know it doesn't justify that sometimes some people do some messed up stuff, man. It doesn't justify that what they did was right. It just simply frees you from not being held on by that bondage of unforgiveness and bitterness. You see, holding on to bitterness, holding on to unforgiveness and resentment is like you drinking poison and hoping the other person dies. That's not going to happen. You're the one that's going to die, right? So if you keep holding on to any unforgiveness, any resentment, any bitterness, it's slowly killing you. It's slowly causing your body to attract negative things to your life. And it's causing your mind and your heart to not think clearly. And you want to begin to have a clear mindset, a clear heart. Sometimes you have to start by forgiving yourself from things that you did in the past or any mistakes that you made. We all make mistakes. People make mistakes all the time. Hurt people hurt people. So sometimes the people that messed up and did something messed up to us is because they themselves were hurting. Now again, there's some pretty bad trauma that sometimes some people deal with. And so sometimes you may have to talk to somebody else to help you walk through all that stuff. But some other stuff that we're just holding on to with unforgiveness and bitterness and resentment, we want to begin to search our hearts. We want to begin to forgive anybody that did us wrong. And that doesn't mean that what they did was right. It just simply frees you from anything negative coming to your life. Now, when somebody does something messed up to you, it doesn't mean that you welcome them back into your life. You know, if it was a friend or a relative or whatever, you can forgive them, you can let go of bitterness and resentment, but that doesn't mean you allow them back into your life. You have to set boundaries. If it's your spouse, you have to work through that, right? You have to work through living with each other in peace and in love. So it may take some time, right? But if it's somebody else that is not your spouse, that does not mean that you bring them back into your life. If they did something messed up and they show no fruit of real life change, then that does not mean you bring them back into your life. You must begin to uphold yourself as the highest priority. And that sometimes means saying bye-bye to some people, okay? So there's two things that you want to begin doing. How can I apply this to my life? And how can I help other people in this area? Number one, you want to begin to forgive yourself and let go of any bitterness and resentment. So ask yourself, am I holding on to any bitterness, any resentment from things that happened to me yesterday, last week, when I was a child? Begin to forgive those people or anything that you may be holding on to that you did. Begin to forgive yourself and begin to walk out this path of freedom, right? Now, how can you help other people? Sometimes when you talk to people, you know somebody's holding on to resentment and unforgiveness because everything that comes out of their mouth is negative. If you have a close enough relationship with some people, you could begin asking them, I see where you're coming from. I understand where you're coming from, but let's look at the bigger picture here. Do you think there's a chance that you might be holding on to unforgiveness or bitterness or resentment in your life? Because if you are, it's like you drinking poison and hoping the other person dies, and that's not going to happen. It's just affecting you. So you want to begin to also help other people that are around you, because you want to begin to create an environment of health and personal growth with everyone that is around you. Okay? If you have any questions about this specific topic, please reach out to me or a coach that is coaching you. But I'm excited to hear about some of the things that you're writing down and journaling about this specific video, because I know we deal with a lot of stuff in our life. Life can be hard. And so I know if you're human, you probably got hurt at some point, and you probably held on to some unforgiveness and bitterness at some point. So the question is not, how do I make them pay for it? Now the question is, how do I begin to walk this path of freedom? Okay? And again, it does not justify that what they did was right. It doesn't justify that what you did was right. It just simply says, where do we go from here so I can begin to walk a path to freedom? All right? I believe in you. I speak life over you. I really, really, really believe in you.